It's good to be here in Chicago.
I was disgusted the whole time. That's all I have to say about it, really.
That exchange is actually in reference to Erika then having sent this 15-year-old to have photos taken. So Erika, having done this, is completely and utterly creepy. It's creepy. It makes no sense.
Erika Kirk just went through one of the most embarrassing public moments of her whole career, and it all went down right in front of hundreds of high school students who were not scared to react. This wasn't some big city college crowd trying to be political. This was a regular high school in Illinois, and these students did not hold back at all. She walked into Genoa Kingston High School like she was about to have her big picture-perfect moment, almost like a celebrity stepping onto a stage. She really believed the room would be quiet, that the teens would be impressed, maybe even inspired. She thought they'd hang on to every single word she said. But instead, the vibe flipped fast. Students laughed during her speech. Some rolled their eyes right in front of her. A few even got up and walked out without caring who saw them. And when the video leaked online, it showed everything: the awkward pauses, the weak reactions, the uncomfortable energy. What happened in that room was way worse than anyone expected. This wasn't just an awkward speech gone wrong. It hit deeper than that. Just days before Erika showed up at that school,
as we've learned in the Podesta emails, as we learned in the Einstein emails, when you're talking about pizza, you're not always talking about pizza. The 15-year-old girl that 25-year-old Erika Franzwe is striking up a relationship with.
Alleged messages started spreading online. These were messages people claim showed Erika communicating with a 15-year-old girl in ways many viewers called inappropriate and concerning. The situation sparked serious debate, and a lot of people online said the tone of those messages crossed lines that adults should never cross with teens. And then, right after that controversy blew up, Erika was touring high schools, speaking to students, helping launch clubs, and getting direct access to minors. That timing raised eyebrows fast. Critics started asking hard questions about boundaries, oversight, and who is approving these visits. Do you see why people are uneasy? Let's walk through what happened at this school, because the details matter. The event was part of something called the History Rocks Tour. Reports say it's being funded through the Department of Education under Linda McMahon. Yes, that Linda McMahon, the former WWE executive who is now serving as Secretary of Education. Her department partnering with Erika Kirk caught a lot of attention. Think about what that means. This isn't just a private group booking school auditoriums. This is a federally backed program giving a political activist structured access to public high schools. That alone made some parents and teachers pause. Taxpayer dollars, public campuses, teenage students, all connected in one package.
Foremost, I just am so grateful for each and every one of you. This is very bittersweet. This is not something I would ever envisioned, obviously, for many.
During the Trump administration, programs like this reportedly expanded, giving speakers like Erika a clear path into schools across the country. Many parents say they had no clue these events were happening until students started talking about them afterward. That lack of awareness added to the tension. The official purpose of the visit was to help launch a Turning Point Club chapter. On paper, it's described as a student organization focused on conservative values, civic engagement, and leadership skills. Supporters say it empowers students to think independently and get involved in politics. But critics argue it feels more like organized recruitment than simple student engagement. They believe it's about building loyalty early, shaping narratives, and creating a strong base of young supporters who will defend the brand no matter what headlines pop up. That's where the real controversy sits, not just in the speech, but in the bigger strategy behind it all.
He lived his life in a way where he was not afraid to speak. He chose to use his voice for something so powerful And I want you guys to understand that every decision will make a mark on your soul.
Let's get into what actually happened when Erika stepped on that stage, because the footage had people talking everywhere. First off, the outfit. Erika showed up dressed like she was trying to blend in with the students. Ripped jeans, casual top, laid-back vibe. It looked like she was aiming for relatable and cool. But to a lot of people watching, it didn't land that way. It came off forced, like someone trying a little too hard to rewind the clock. The students weren't confused. You could see it in their faces. The energy in the room felt stiff before she even got deep into her speech. And the speech, even more awkward. It sounded rehearsed, overly scripted, and disconnected from what these teens actually care about. She kept bringing up Charlie, his legacy, and how he used his voice. She talked about courage and standing firm. But here's where the tension spiked.
Compromise your character. You guys might think it's brave to go along with the crowd. You guys might think it's brave to laugh at certain things that aren't funny. But just know that people are watching. And one day you might be in a position of leadership that...
These students follow social media. They've seen the headlines. They've heard the leaked audio clips people keep discussing. They know about the former employees who spoke out. They know about the NDAs that were reportedly used. So when Erika stood there praising someone for using his voice, the irony wasn't subtle. You could hear students laughing, and it wasn't supportive laughter, it was disbelief. Because how do you talk about freedom of expression while critics claim people around you were pressured to stay silent? That contrast hit hard, and the room felt uncomfortable fast.
People look back on your life 12, 13, 15 years, and they'll say, wow, you made those choices, you made those decisions. Yeah, in those moments, but my aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of the newspaper. Live your life in that way.
Then she shifted into giving life advice. She told the students, never compromise your character. She said, never do anything you wouldn't want on the front page of a newspaper. The reaction? Shock, eye rolls, whispers. People online later called it bold. Some even said it was unbelievable. Why? Because at the same time, her own past was being debated heavily online. There are ongoing discussions about her professional relationships, internal disputes, and allegations that are still being examined. There are questions about her conduct and boundaries that critics say haven't been fully answered. So when she positioned herself as a moral guide for teenagers, the disconnect felt massive to many watching. That's when the whole scene shifted from awkward to explosive.
The way that you live your life every single day, it matters. Ladies, be that, be ladies, be modest. Live your life in a way that's honoring. Honor your parents.
And there she was, telling teenagers to protect their character and live with integrity. The students were not convinced. You could read it all over their faces. Some looked uncomfortable, others exchanged quick side glances like they were silently saying, "Are we really hearing this right now?" The energy in the room shifted, and it wasn't in her favor.
Kirk came out, she said, "We're in the Chicagoland area."
Then came the moment that really stirred people up. Erika started directing specific advice at the young women in the crowd. She encouraged them to be modest, to honor their parents, to embrace traditional values. Now, modesty and family values aren't controversial on their own. A lot of families believe in that. But critics immediately questioned whether she was the right person to deliver that message. People online quickly brought up her earlier career before she married Charlie. Photos, modeling work, reality show auditions, all resurfaced. She had previously built a public image that was very different from the one she now promotes. Supporters say people grow and change. Critics say the shift feels strategic. That contrast is what fueled the backlash. So when she stood there presenting herself as a model of traditional Christian values, some students weren't buying it. Several reportedly told local reporters afterward that the message felt inconsistent with what they had seen online.
It is good to be here in Chicago.
They described the event as awkward and said parts of it felt performative rather than authentic. From their perspective, it wasn't about modesty, it was about credibility. They felt like the message didn't line up with the messenger, and that disconnect is what made the whole thing explode on social media. Supporters argue she's simply encouraging leadership and strong beliefs. Critics argue it looks more like political recruitment aimed at building loyal supporters who will defend her against ongoing scrutiny. That's the real divide. Is this mentorship or is it strategy? The students clearly had their own opinion.
I, again, am so grateful to be here because this is where it all started for Charlie.
Outside the school, things were just as intense. A large group of parents and community members gathered near the entrance, and they were not calm about it. They held signs high, chanting and demanding answers from the school administration. Their main question was simple: how was Erika given access to their kids in the first place? For many of them, this wasn't about politics, it was about process. Public schools usually have strict rules when it comes to guest speakers, background checks, approval forms, content reviews, age-appropriate guidelines. That's standard practice. So people started asking, who signed off on this visit? Who reviewed her background? Who decided this was the right choice for a high school audience? From the outside, it looked like everything moved quickly, especially with reported backing connected to the Department of Education. Critics argue that the approval process should have been more transparent. Supporters say she was invited as part of a recognized student organization effort.
I was disgusted the whole time. That's all I have to say about it, really.
Last weird text exchange was about the one where Erika tells her not to drink and to suck her stomach in tonight, wherever they're going tonight. People assumed that they had gone somewhere together, but no, that exchange is actually in reference to Erika then having sent this 15-year-old to have photos taken.
But by the time those debates started, the event had already happened. What really escalated concerns was the timing. Just days before this visit, old messages from 2013 and 2014 resurfaced online. The messages were reportedly between Erika, who was 25 at the time, and a girl named Jill Falcon, who was 15. The online reaction was immediate and intense.
Insane. She sent this 15-year-old to have photos taken. She's helping her because she's just so beautiful get into maybe some modeling. That's at least how she presented it to her. So after telling her how beautiful and perfect her lips were, she then sets her up with a photographer, a friend of Erika's. Erika, she says, arranged the entire thing. This person she had only met once, then after maybe love bombing her, you describe it, then sends her to meet up with this male photographer. And Jillian said that this photographer was kind of creepy.
People began questioning boundaries, context, and whether it was appropriate for someone facing that kind of scrutiny to be speaking directly to minors in a school setting. That combination, protests outside, controversy online, and a school appearance in the middle of it all, is what turned this from a simple speaking event into a full-blown public storm.
She's trying to remember his name. She says she remembers it began with an R, and he was kind of shorter, chubbier, and yeah, I'd say yeah, Jillian, that's pretty creepy. Any photographer who is taking photos of a 15-year-old without their parents' consent is a creep. I would also similarly say that any person who is arranging for photographs to be taken of a 15-year-old girl without explicit permission from that person's mother is...
Outside the school, things were just as intense. A large group of parents and community members gathered near the entrance, and they were not calm about it. They held signs high, chanting and demanding answers from the school administration. Their main question was simple: how was Erika given access to their kids in the first place? For many of them, this wasn't about politics, it was about process. Public schools usually have strict rules when it comes to guest speakers. Background checks, approval forms, content reviews, age-appropriate guidelines. That's standard practice. So people started asking, who signed off on this visit? Who reviewed her background? Who decided this was the right choice for a high school audience?
It's a total creep. So Erika, having done this, is completely and utterly creepy. It's creepy. It makes no sense.
From the outside, it looked like everything moved quickly, especially with reported backing connected to the Department of Education. Critics argue that the approval process should have been more transparent. Supporters say she was invited as part of a recognized student organization effort, but by the time those debates started, the event had already happened. What really escalated concerns was the timing. Just days before this visit, old messages from 2013 and 2014 resurfaced online. The messages were reportedly between Erika, who was 25 at the time, and a girl named Jill Falcon, who was 15. The online reaction was immediate and intense. People began questioning boundaries, context, and whether it was appropriate for someone facing that kind of scrutiny to be speaking directly to minors in a school setting. That combination, protests outside, controversy online, and a school appearance in the middle of it all, is what turned this from a simple speaking event into a full-blown public storm.